here's a quick and easy crochet pattern that will solve one of your biggest problems.
Oh, my hand is so cold.
Crochet to the rescue.
So much better now.
Hello from Halifax. I'm Jo with Jo the World Creations.
And today we're going to learn how to crochet my flower freeze pop holder.
This is way much better than a Eda.
We use this more than anything else I've ever crocheted. But it's also great to give as gifts or to sell at craft shows, and I'm so excited to get to the tutorial. You can use any size 4 medium yarn. I recommend a yarn that is washable. I'll be using Impeccable, and I'll be using a G hook. We're going to start with the color that you want to use for the stem. We're going to start by making a slip knot. This is how I make a slip knot. And now we're going to chain 12. 1, 2, you go ahead and chain 12. Now what we're going to do is slip stitch into the very first chain that we made. But we want to be careful that we don't twist these chain stitches. Bring your last chain around back to the first, insert your hook into this top loop here, grab your yarn and make a slip stitch. To start round 1, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. This stitch here that's attached to that chain 1 we just made is actually the slip stitch from joining the start. We're not going to work into that slip stitch. We're going to work into the top loop of the last chain made. So skipping that slip stitch and working into the last chain, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook under the top loop of that last chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull that yarn through all 3 loops. And there's our first half double crochet stitch. We're going to make a half double crochet stitch in each of the chains. So working into the next chain, into the top, under the top loop, insert your hook under there and make another half double crochet stitch. You go ahead and work all the way around. So here's my 11th half double crochet stitch. Now I'm going to work into the last chain of the round, once again under that top loop, and make my final half double crochet stitch. To quickly count our stitches, just to make sure we have 12, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The chain 1 that we made at the start of this round does not count as a stitch. So only count your half double crochet stitches. To finish the round, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet stitch that we made in the round. So not working into the chain, into the top of that first half double crochet stitch, insert your hook under the top 2 loops and slip stitch to join. Now we're going to start round 2, and round 2 is what we're going to be repeating for the rest of the stem. This is what we're going to do. We're going to chain 1 and we're not going to turn. We're going to be working into the first stitch. This is the stitch that's attached to the chain 1 we just made. Into this first stitch we're going to half double crochet. So working into this first stitch, make a half double crochet stitch. And now we're going to make a half double crochet stitch in each stitch around. So just make 1 half double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. So I've made 11 half double crochet stitches so far. I have 1 more stitch to work into. This is the last stitch that I'll be working into. The stitch next to it, it can be confusing because it almost looks like a stitch, but this is the slip stitch from the previous round, and that does not get worked into. So that's a slip stitch, that's the chain 1 that started the round, and here's our last stitch that we will work into. Working into this last stitch, make your final half double crochet stitch. And you can go ahead and count your stitches to make sure that you have 12 half double crochet stitches. To finish the round, we're going to slip stitch into the top of this first half double crochet stitch to join. So working into this first stitch into the top of it, make a slip stitch to join. For rounds 3 to 9, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did and repeat round 2. So simply chain 1, don't turn, work into the first stitch and make a half double crochet and make a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And after making your 12 half double crochet stitches, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. So you go ahead and repeat round 2 until you complete round 9. At this point, your work should measure approximately 1.75 inches across and approximately 3.75 inches high. If your work is measuring a different size, you may want to start again with a different hook because you do want this freezie holder or freeze pop holder to fit the freezie or ice pop or whatever you call it. And speaking of that, what do you call it? There's so many names for these freezies or freeze pops. I'm in Canada. We, at least in our family, call them freezies. So I'd love to know what you've called them growing up. Now we're going to change colors and attach the color you're going to use for the center of the flower. In all the pictures, you'll see that I've used this chocolate brown color, but for this video tutorial, I'm going to use this soft taupe yarn just so it's easier to see. We're going to attach this new color by placing it on your hook, leaving about an 8-inch tail, and then pulling the new color through the loop of the current color that's currently on your hook. And then pull everything tight. We can now fasten off the old color, which simply means with your scissors to cut the yarn that's attached to the skein. Now with our new color, we're going to begin round 10. And for round 10, we're going to do exactly what we've been doing, repeating round 2. So really quickly, as I know you're a pro at this, is chain 1 in the first stitch, make your first half double crochet stitch, and then half double crochet in each stitch around. You should have a total of 12 stitches, and then to complete the round, we slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet stitch made in the round to join. Now for round 11, we're going to do the exact same thing, repeat round 2 again. So I'll let you go do this, but I'd also love to hear, what is your favorite freeze pop flavor? I've just completed round 11, and you'll see that we now have 2 rounds with this center of the flower color. Now we're going to change colors to the color we want to use for the petals. Place the color that you would like for the petals onto your hook and pull it through the loop of the color that's currently on your hook. And then pull everything tight. Now we can fasten off the color we used for the center of the flower, and we're ready to start round 12. I'm just going to tuck these ends into the holder. To start round 12, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Do you see this little stitch that's attached to the chain? This is the slip stitch from the last round that we did, and we are not going to work into this slip stitch here. We're going to work into the next stitch. And into this next stitch, we're going to be doing a lot of things, a number of things, and this begins the repeat portion of the round. So this is what we will be repeating all the way around. So working into this next stitch, the first thing we're going to do is single crochet. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to keep working into this exact same stitch, and we're going to make our first of 2 triple crochet stitches. Some people call them treble crochet stitches. I call them triple crochet stitches. They're the same thing. And here's how we make one. We're going to yarn over twice. Once, twice. Insert our hook into the same stitch that we made our single crochet stitch into. Yarn over and pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on your hook. We now have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull that yarn through just the first 2 loops. We have 2 loops left on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull that yarn through both loops. And there's our first triple crochet stitch. And we're going to make one more into this same stitch. Yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, bring that yarn through 2 loops, yarn over, bring that yarn through 2 loops, yarn over, bring your yarn through the last 2 loops. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch into the same stitch. And there is our first petal made. We're going to be doing this in each stitch all the way around, so we'll have a total of 12 petals. This is our first of 12. Let's do one more together. Working into the next stitch, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, into the same stitch, make our first of 2 triple crochet stitches. There's 1. There's 2, chain 3, and slip stitch into the same stitch. And there's our second petal. You go ahead and do this in each stitch all the way around until you have a total of 12 petals. After making your 12 petals, we're going to finish the round by making a slip stitch into the back of this first petal. So just bring that first petal towards you. And there isn't an exact place you need to slip stitch into on the back here. Just find a good spot right around the middle of the back. So just find a good spot to insert your hook. And then pull the yarn through and make a slip stitch. And I just found that tied everything together really nicely. Now we can remove our hook and fasten off, and then pull that end through the loop that was on our hook and pull tight. Now all that's left to do is with our yarn needle weave in all our loose ends. And now you have a brand new flower freeze pop holder. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy making these holders. I'd love to hear about yours, hear what flowers you made or what color you used and who you're making them for. If you like this video, I'd love if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If there's anything at all I can do to help, please let me know. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.